local pharmacies in this country, the same way they get their flu shot. And for folks who aren't near a pharmacy or mass vaccination center, we've supplied more than 500 mobile clinics, like pop-up sites or vans, meeting people where they are, meeting people where they are. We deployed nearly 6,000 federal personnel, including FEMA, active duty military, and Department of Health and Human Services to support vaccinations and serve as vaccinators, putting the needle in people's arms. We're also supplying vaccines to community health centers to reach those who have been the hardest hit, and suffered the most, especially Black, Latino, Native American, and rural communities.
Especially Black, Latino, Native American, and rural communities. Especially Black, Latino, Native American, and rural communities.
Especially Black, Latino, Native American, and rural communities. This is really important because we believe that speed and efficiency must be matched with fairness and equity.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. I want to give all honor, glory, and infinite praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai Ba'asham Chakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the elect scattered abroad, pushing his truth and sincerity. Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai Ba'asham Chakadash Ba'akatam. To use Aquanium, Wa'akim Wa'akwafim, the hopeful elect. You know, you elders, you brothers, you sisters, out there laboring, keeping the commandments to the best of your ability. Giving diligence, make your calling and election sure. And of course, keeping faith in Yahweh Yahweh Shai in these last days. This is Brother Pashai, Bon Yash'Allah, and this will be a quick lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai on these devils' words are smoother than butter, man. You know, you got to remember that these devils, these fucking Edomites, you know what I'm saying, these elites on down, they want to murder you jakes. You know, they want to slaughter you jakes. That's their goal. And as you see in the video clip that played an intro, that was Creepy Joe, you know, Sleepy Joe Biden, and out of his own mouth, man, you know, their target is who? You so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. He said blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans rural and rural communities. You know, basically those in the ghettos and the slums. So this whole pestilence, you know, that had nothing to do with us. It came from what they say, Wuhan, China, from bat soup or whatever the case may be. You know, now we're the face of it. You know, now we're dying from it. We're the number one people that's dying from it. They know who we are, man. There's no coincidence how they mentioned the blacks, Latinos, Native Americans. They watch the videos. They watch the elders and the apostles on down. You know, they're in tune. You know, a brother recently, or not recently, it was a little minute ago, probably like half a year ago, probably like 6 months ago to a year ago, a brother had a dream, you know, about the elites and how they was watching us on YouTube. You see what I'm saying? And I believe that same brother was in the dream. The elites were trying to pray to Baphomet and he wasn't answering. You know, so these devils know who we are. You know, these devils' main target is us, man, the Jakes. You know, Israelites, so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans. You see? So there's no coincidence how Creepy Joe mentioned us. He didn't mention Ishmaelites. He didn't say Arabs. He didn't say Chinese. You know, and they're the ones who fucking brought over here according to what Esau's bringing out. You know, we know this whole thing's an agenda. You know, they have a mass depopulation plan. We know that the prophecy getting ready to come to pass with Jacob's trouble. You know, the book in 2nd Esdras, 16th chapter and verse 68 on down. You know, him being a madman sparing none. Revelation 12 and 12, Isaiah 59 and 19. All these prophecies have to come to pass. So that's why the Lord is putting the spirit upon these devils to move how they moving, man. So I'm going to read this one more time. Now I got another quick precept. Matter of fact, let me read it. Right, it's like it. Psalm 55 verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter. So what he's saying, it sounds smooth. You know, listen, man, you know, you blacks, Latinos, and Americans, you're dying from this crown royale. You know, I got to choose my words wisely because Esau will take down the video, right? You're dying from the crown royale, the C19, right? So we're trying to give you the jab, the juice first. You know, you're first in line for it because we care about you so much. So that's his words being smooth like butter, man. But guess what? But war was in his heart. You know, in his heart, in his mind, La'ab is war. You know, he's thinking about how to destroy you, Jakes. You see, and there's information coming out that this jab is actually killing people, man. People taking it as game and dropping dead. You know, information like coming from people that I even know personally, man. They hearing about people taking it and actually dying like 3 hours later. You know, people taking it getting Bell palsy. You know, they have half of their faces paralyzed. A lady took it and she was twitching. You know, she couldn't stop shaking, and she was trying to make a joke out of it like she was Harlem Shaking, but she really was Harlem Shaking, man. You know, you got some other lady. I think she was a nurse. She took it and she was crying. She had a mask on at first, and then she took the mask off, and her face was like drooping down to the side, and she was crying, saying they want to kill. And well, she didn't say that. She said they don't care about us. That's what she really said, right? Salakia, right? But at the end of the day, these devils, they do want to kill you, man. They want to kill us Jakes, you know. But the Lord gonna look out for his elect in these last days. You know, that's why the Lord put the spirit upon the men of the Lord, the prophets, to prophesy not to take this no matter what. Be willing to lose it all, man. Be willing to forsake everything to not take this. If you gotta lose your job, lose it, man. To hell with it, man. The kingdom of heaven is nigh at hand, you know. So scriptures talk about that too. You know, if you can't forsake all, you can't follow. You can't be a disciple of Yahweh Shai. So you gotta be willing to forsake everything. Your job, you know, might be your house. You see what I'm saying? Because they talking about people getting evicted. Because think about it, if you lose your job, you can't pay rent, you can't pay bills. Now you get eviction notices. You got a 2-week notice in. You know, you're getting evicted. You walk home, all your stuff is outside. You know, so you gotta prepare your spirit for the times that's coming. Cause we're approaching that time of Jacob's trouble. That's why Creepy Sleepy Joe is mentioned in the blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. And not too long ago in the Trump rally, they had it on a sign. It literally said, "Coming for blacks and Indians first. Welcome to the New World Order." You know, during a Trump rally, and a news reporter, it's like the elites made him, you know, mention that. You know, the news reporter literally said, "Wait, we just saw a disturbing sign. It says, come for blacks and Indians first. Welcome to the New World Order. This, that, and the third." You know, so that because in the whole New World Order agenda is mass depopulation. They got it in the Georgia Guidestones, right? As a matter of fact, I'll read something right fast from the Georgia Guidestones. I'm gonna pull it up on my tablet. So that's why it's important to be on your watch in these last days. These devils, they don't have our best interest at heart. You know, your mind gotta be focused on the world to come. This place, America, Babylon, and Great, is almost out of here, man. You see, and it's gonna get real bad. You know, and we could sound like a broken record. You know, I can mention that almost every video I do. How this place how about to break loose, and place about to collapse. It's happening. You see, and it's happening gradually. Esau deals with gradualism, right? Let me just search this up for Georgia Guidestones. Images, and this you can actually find this in Georgia. Just the address to it. Well, I'm not advocating brothers to go over there and actually check. You can if you want, you know what I'm saying, but you know, it's in Georgia. You know, they have the whole address online. You can search this up yourself, right? In any event, let's get the images. So on one of the sides of one of the stones, it says maintain humanity under 500 million. You know, so they want to maintain humanity, the population, under 500 million, and it's in a perpetual balance with nature. You see, then it said guide reproduction wisely. You know, people that reproduce, that's why they want people to be, you know, freaks and transformers, because they don't want people to reproduce. They have a whole mass depopulation plan. They think the whole earth is, you know, overpopulated, which is a goddamn lie. You know, the earth is humongous, man. There's enough space for everybody. But these devils, they want it all. You know, this the wicked that we're dealing with. Right, so they want to maintain humanity under 500 million, and this is the plans of the New World Order. As a matter of fact, let me search something else up. Right, them again. Matter of fact, I'm reading a precept right fast through the Spirit. I thought about it earlier. Proverbs 21 and verse 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So the Most High is in full control. So the Most High put a spirit upon these devils, you know what I'm saying, to move how they moving, right? Because according to the prophecy, 2/3 of the nation of Israel gonna get put to death, gonna get cut off and die, all types of different ways, man. So that's why the Lord put a spirit upon these devils to move on Jake, you see, and they getting ready to move on Jakes, man. Understand that, because when they say who get to hit the hardest by this, you know, C-19 pestilence, you know, they saying the blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, because they want to jab you up first. They want you to get the juice so you could drop dead or get a type of disease, you know, or get Bell palsy or start twitching. You know, this whole thing is experimental, because it normally takes like 9 to 10 years to make a jab. You know, this one is what they made in a year. You know, not even that. You know, so this whole thing is experimental. So we don't know what the fuck gonna happen. Now you got the CDC warning about basically giving survival tips of a zombie apocalypse. So, man, we don't know what the fuck, man. Right? But just know this. You're not supposed to trust these goddamn devils. We're going to go back to Psalm 55 very fast. Then I'm going to get a couple more. Then I'm going to close out. Straight to the point. Right? Just remember these devils want to kill you, Jakes, man. Because you have certain camps, right? Well, I would say there's one specific camp, ISUPK, the leader of that camp is going off, man. He's a false prophet. He's saying take the jab. He literally said take it. You know what I'm saying? He said if you don't take it, you're a coward. So he's paid off, man. They paying him to say that shit. You see? And you got Bishop Nate from IUIC going to get, you know, C19 test, you know, put it online, you know what I'm saying? They all getting they test is done. You see? So who knows, man? And when he got asked about the vaccine, I said the word. So you somebody take this video down. But in any event, I don't care. Right? The word is still gonna go out, right, at the end of the day. But when he was asked about the jab, I believe like a year and a half ago, some lady from London asked him about it, and he said, listen, he'd take it to go to different countries and this, that, and the third. Then when it came to this jab, he's like, oh, I don't know about this, I don't know about this. So now he's switching his words up. First, it wasn't no Jacob's trouble. Now there is Jacob's trouble. So now he's just switching everything up, you know? So because he probably knows, you know, of course he knows what the hell is really going on, you see? But in any event, let me read this very fast. I'm gonna do too much talking. Let me see something. Oh, let me select it 1 second, Yasha. So it's all a part of Esau's agenda, man. His goal is for you to get you Jakes. Right? Alright, it's not popping up. But in any event, right? Let me read this one more time. Psalm 55 and verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet with a drawn sword. So that's what he's about to do. He's about to draw swords, and that's a weapon for war. You know, modern day sword is a gun. You know what I'm saying? Ultimate sword is some ICBMs. You see? So I got another precept. Let me read this very fast. This is the book of Sirach 12 and verse 10, right? Never trust thine enemy. That's why the title of this lesson, you got to remember that these devils want to murder you, Jakes. You have to remember that, man. You know, his words are smoother than butter, but you have to remember that he wants to kill and murder you, Jakes, right? So you're never supposed to trust his enemy, man. You know? Sirach 12 and 10, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. And according to the scriptures, we know Esau is our enemy, man. Esau literally said, I'm going to read this right fast. I'm going to go back to that. Go to the book of Genesis. Let's see what Esau said out of his own goddamn mouth, man. Let me see something. Hold up. We're going to get the book of Genesis, chapter 20. I think it's 27 I want. Come on, Genesis 27 and verse 41. And Esau hated Jacob. Now, Jacob is our forefather. Jacob name later got changed to Israel. Yasha'Allah, he prince of the power. He had 12 sons, which consists of the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans today. You know, Judah on down to Issachar, right? So Esau, the so-called white man, you know, these elites on down, right? And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. Because our forefather, Isaac, blessed, you know, our other forefather, Jacob, with that blessing, which trickle on down to us today. So Esau hates us for that, man, because that blessing is the ultimate blessing, right? And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, his mind, La'ab, right? The days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. So he had that same spirit of Cain on him, man. Cain wanted he killed Abel, you know. And the Lord asked Cain, where's your brother Abel? He said, well, how am I supposed to know? Am I my brother's keeper? So he's a goddamn liar and a murderer, you know. And that same spirit came back as Esau, right? Esau, he wants to slay his brother Jacob, even to this day. That's why out of all the nations we always enslaved to, you know, I'm speaking about us Israelites, you know, us being going to different captivities, Esau took it to a whole nother goddamn level, man. Esau took it to a whole nother level, because he hates us, man. He has that perfect hatred, and that's from back then, you know, back to our forefathers, man. You see? Now I'm gonna get this very fast. Let's get Ezekiel, the 35th chapter. Right? Wait, matter of fact, before I get this, I gotta go back to this right fast, right? Sirach 12 and verse 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. So is his wickedness, man. Like iron rust, so is Esau's the goddamn devil, man. You can never trust him. He does not have our best interest at heart. He want to give us the juice to kill us, man. So this is a warning. You know, do not take that no matter what. You gotta be willing to forsake everything for Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. That's why it's important, pursuant to Matthew the 7th chapter and verse 24, to have your house founded upon a rock. That rock is Yahushua. You know, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. So if your house is founded upon a rock, a solid foundation, you're not gonna fall. When the winds come, the rain blew, will symbolize destruction, will symbolize all hell breaking loose, will symbolize the military troops coming down with great wrath. You see, you're not gonna fall because your house, your faith is built upon a rock. You know? So read this again. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself, so right now it seems like Esau's humbling himself. Like he acting like he got your best interest at heart. He acting like he wanna do some do you some type of good, man. Right? And go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped the looking glass. And thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. Because that rust symbolizes what? His wickedness. You know, it has not been altogether wiped away. This dude is still a goddamn devil. You know, and in his mind, in his heart, you know, he has plans of war, plans of destroying and killing Jakes. It goes back to what I just read in Genesis, the 27th chapter. With Esau, he said, the days of mourning for my father are at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob. You know, so that Esau's back on earth, of course, through his descendants, man, and that's in their mind. These elites, these Amalekites. Amalek is the grandson of Esau, which is the Amalekites, or the so-called Jewish people today. You got the top banking families. You know, their main goal is to kill Jakes because they know the blessing that we got blessed with, man. You know, and us waking back up to our nationality, they watching the videos. That's why Joe Biden slipped up and literally, well, I don't even know if he slipped up. He just literally said it: Black, Latinos, and Native Americans. You know, who says that all the time? Us, the Israelites. Starting with the elders and apostles on down. You see? And he didn't mention no other nation. So we the only people that's going through it the most, you know, that's dying from this pestilence the most. What about the Chinese that it came from their fucking country, correct? What about the Chinese? The so-called Chinese, the Moabites. What about the Arabs, the Ishmaelites? What about the East Indians, the Elamites, you know? What about these other nations? What about these Hamites? No, they said Black, Latinos, and Native Americans, man, because we're the Israelites, and that's what their main target is. Let's finish this out. Verse 12. Set him not by thee, least when he have overthrown thee. This is Sirach, the book of Ecclesiasticus 12 and 12. Set him not by thee, least when he have overthrown thee. He stand up in thy place, neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my word. Remember the words of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. You know, remember this devil want to kill you, man. He want to murder you, I'd rather say. And thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. Who will pity a trauma that is bitten with the serpent? So we're not going to pity none of you jakes, you know, that take this juice, man, and get put to death. Or get transformed to some type of beast-like state where you're looking like a goddamn zombie or some shit. You know, we're not going to pity you because the scripture said what? Who will pity a trauma that is bitten with a serpent? These you know, different traumas that play with, you know, vipers and rattlesnakes. You know, you want to play with a snake and it bite your ass. We're not gonna pity you. We're not gonna cry for you. We're not gonna be like, why did he have to get bitten by a snake? He had no fucking business playing with the goddamn snake. You see? So who will pity a trauma that is bitten with a serpent or any such as come nigh wild beast? Right? So one that goeth to a sinner and is defiled with him in his sins, who will pity? So we're not gonna pity you, jakes, man. You're getting warned right now through the spirit and probably how about Shemal Shah. Do not take that jab. These devils want to kill you. They want to murder you, man. You see what I'm saying? I got like two more. I'm gonna close out. Let's get this. Ezekiel 35 and verse 5. Let me see this one I want. Ooh, now I'll start verse 1. Moreover, the word of the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir. And you know, through the spirit, let me read this right fast. Genesis, I believe it's 36 and verse 8, right? Genesis 36 verse 8. Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom, the nation of Edom, you know? So what it said right here, verse 2, Son of man, this is Ezekiel 35 and 2. Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it. So we're prophesying against Esau, Edom, you know, and saying to it, thus saith the Lord power, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee. The Most High Yahweh, the creator of the heavens and the earth, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, is against these devils, man. He said, what? Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out mine hand against thee, and I'll make thee most desolate. The Lord about to plague these devils, man. Verse 4, I will lay thy cities waste, right? And thus, it's like, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua. Because, you know, right now, Esau, he thinks he's the Most High. He wants to be like the Most High. That's why he thinks he can make a God-like decision by depopulating the world, you know? But at that day, when the Lord destroy his ass, destroy his land, destroy him, send his son back, Yahweh Shai, Lord and Savior, you know, to chain these goddamn devils up, bring to the land of Israel, they're going to be slaves and servants and handmaids. They going to know that the Most High is the creator of heavens and earth, man. You know, they going to know that they can't mess with our power. You see, they're going to be terrified. They're going to tremble at his presence. Verse 5, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. So the Lord said he gonna make their cities desolate, you know, their cities waste. He gonna make them desolate. You know, he gonna put them to death, basically. You know, destroy their land. Because what? Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, like Esau said in the book of Genesis 27th chapter. Esau hated his brother Jacob. You see, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, save the Lord power, and he lives forever. Right? Therefore, as I live, save the Lord power, I will prepare thee unto blood. The Lord preparing these Edomites unto blood. And blood shall pursue thee. Blood will pursue you, devils. If thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Because these devils, they love shedding blood. You know? Scriptures talk about woe to them that buildeth a town by blood, establish a city by iniquity. Roughly paraphrased, I believe that's Habakkuk 2:12, if I'm not mistaken. You see? So the Lord said he gonna prepare them unto blood, man. So you devils got a lot coming for y'all. Verse 7, thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that passeth out, and him that returneth. You see? So let me see, there's some more on that. I was just in it right there through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Right, so I'm gonna get this right fast through the spirit. I'm ending off with this precept, Isaiah 59:19. So shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun, which is the east. When the enemy Esau Edom, like I read in Sirach 12:10, never trust an enemy. You see? So when the enemy, which is Esau, when the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. You know, so these devils and Iman, they want to come down with great wrath upon the entire nation of Israel. You know, but according to the prophecy, 2/3 are going to get cut off and die. That's their lot. You know, so the Lord going to allow the 2/3 to die in different ways. Famines, pestilences, natural disasters, the sword, war. Esau grabbed them up, put them in military camps and concentration camps, FEMA camps, C-19, detention centers, you know, isolation facilities, whatever the case may be. You see, there's many different ways to die in these last days. So the Lord gonna allow 2/3 to die that wicked as according to prophecy. You know, and they wicked as all hell. But the elect, the Lord not gonna let Esau just have his way with the elect. You see, the Lord gonna deliver his elect. He gonna lift up a standard for them during that time. So we know Esau, his goal is to get all of us, but guess what? The Lord not gonna allow him to. So us doing the right thing through the Spirit, Lord willing, we continue enduring. You know, us rehearsing righteous acts. And I'm speaking to you, you know, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Seminole Indians. You know, those out there that's, you know, waking up to the fact that you're Israelites. You have to continue rehearsing righteous acts. You know, praying, fasting, enduring, and keeping faith in Yahweh while Yahweh shine these last days. The Most High and his only begotten Son, our Lord and Savior. You know, we got to keep faith. We got to endure. The Lord going to guide us. He going to protect us. He going to deliver us from these goddamn devils when they come down with that great wrath. Pursuant to Revelation 12:12. And like I just read, he going to lift up a standard for us, man. You know, he will deliver us, man. In style. So we got to keep faith, man. Esau, like you said in the like you seen in the video clip that played in the intro, you know, basically out of their mouth, they want to basically give us the juice first. You know, they said blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, which are the Israelites. You see? But the Lord not going to allow them, you know, to slaughter the entire nation. The Lord is dealing with a remnant. Right? So I just pray you was edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. I'm going to give Kohalayim La Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, Bashem Chakadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the Lex God of the Broad, pushing his truth and sincerity. With that, I'm going to say, Shalom.